Hi everyone, I wanted to do a different kind of book review today. This is a book that I bought many years ago when I used to be into trading and investing. And the book is a famous one. I'm sure you've heard of it. And if you haven't, well, now you have. This is The Intelligent Investor, the definitive book on value investing. This is by far the most famous book in the entire world on investing, and it's written by the famous Benjamin Graham, and this book is highly praised by Warren Buffett. So I'm assuming you know who he is. If you don't, Warren Buffett is a super billionaire. He's one of the richest people in the world, if not the richest. I know he's in the top 5. I usually don't keep up with stuff like this, but this book is amazing, and it's written for the everyday person. So if you want to get into investing, honestly, I think this book is a must-read. Before you read anything online, before you go on forums or read news articles, this book gives you some really good common sense advice. Now, having said that, there are some pros and cons to this book. I have read this entire book. Let's take a look inside it. I should emphasize that this book says updated with new commentary by Jason Zweig. I hope I said that correctly. That is absolutely essential. The commentary is intelligent, it's well written, and it's extremely useful. So if you do buy this book, please make sure that you get the revised edition, I guess, which has the updated with new commentary by Jason Zweig. I'll make sure I include a link in the description for you. Okay, so this is the table of contents, and I'm just going to briefly go through it because I really want to get to the meat of this book and make some comments on that. Plus, if you're new to investing, you might not even understand what a lot of these things mean. Chapter 3 right here, I'll pause for a moment. 3 and 4, yes. A Century of Stock Market History. That is a really good chapter, and we'll come back to that in a minute. And 4, General Portfolio Policy. We'll also talk a little bit about that. But this book is absolutely a must-have, and the reason I say this is because a lot of stuff on the internet is created to make money, right? A lot of the people who write finance articles and stuff, they have, some type of agenda, and there's a lot of bad information when it comes to finance. One of the things about finance is that you can't predict what the stock market is going to do, no matter what anyone tells you. So you have to be really careful. And this book, again, it just provides that common sense wisdom. Okay, let's look inside this book. This is absolutely amazing. So as I'm sitting here making this video, I'm thinking, what should I film next? I opened the book and something caught my eye. Look at this. Think for yourself. Let's read this together. Would you willingly allow a certifiable lunatic to come by at least 5 times a week to tell you that you should feel exactly the way he feels? Would you ever agree to be euphoric just because he is, or miserable just because he thinks you should be? Of course not, right? You'd insist your right to take control of your own emotional life based on your experiences and your beliefs. But when it comes to their financial lives, millions of people let Mr. Market, so Mr. Market is the stock market, so millions of people let Mr. Market tell them how to feel and what to do, despite the obvious fact that from time to time, he can get nuttier than a fruitcake. And then he gives examples specifically of the rise and fall during the dot-com era, right? The dot-com boom and the subsequent dot-com crash. So this gives lots of really good examples of things that did happen, right? Euphoric situations where things just came crashing down. You've got to be careful if you don't know where you're going, because you might not get there. Yogi Berra. This is the commentary on Chapter 3. This is an absolute must-read when you get this book. It gives lots of examples of other people being wrong. So why is that useful? Because it gives you a perspective on things, right? You cannot believe everything you read when it comes to finance. And this book just gives tons of examples of experts in their fields giving advice and being wrong. Now, that's not to say that all experts are wrong, right? They're experts for a reason, right? We study math and we make mistakes in math. That's normal. The same in finance, except in finance, again, you cannot predict what the markets will do. So it's hard for experts to be called experts. But Chapter 3 is a must-read if you do decide to get this book. So this is a small little piece of Chapter 4. And Graham gives an example of why not 100% stocks. This is the commentary by Zweig, which is very, very good. Here, he advises that you never have more than 75% of your total assets in stocks, and he gives some criteria. Now, as you read this, you should also be skeptical, right? This book was written by a human being, right? And human beings are not prophets. They do not know everything when it comes to the market. So overall, though, this is probably the best single book that you can own on investing, and has the best advice that I've ever seen given on investing. This is a piece of chapter 9, I believe. I believe this is chapter 9. And he talks about closed-ended versus open-end funds. So this is maybe something you've never heard of. So it's very, very good to read this and learn about this stuff. Closed-end funds, still exist today, but they're not very popular, right? But it's good to know what your options are. So lots of really, really useful information in this book. Here he gives an example of the Vanguard 500 index fund. It says, looking back from December 31st, 2002, how many U.S. stock funds outperformed the Vanguard 500 index fund? And so in 1 year, that's how many funds? 3 years, looking back from that date. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then 20 years. That's how many funds outperformed it. So his point is that Vanguard is very good. I agree. Vanguard is a good investment company. However, I feel like the author does really tout it pretty hard, which is fine. You know, people are entitled to their opinions. We all have opinions. I have opinions. You have opinions. I think Vanguard is a good company, but I'm not one of those people who believes that you should only buy Vanguard funds, right? I believe in complete diversification. And nowadays, you know, with all the trading options that we have out there, we can invest very differently from what's in this book, right? You can buy one share for $10 without paying any commissions. You know, so we live in a world where it's very easy to follow a lot of the advice in this book in a much easier fashion. So you can really, really diversify because the cost of investing nowadays is much lower. So again, the book is The Intelligent Investor, and it's written by Benjamin Graham. And if you do get this book, please make sure you get the updated one with the new commentary by Jason Zweig. This is an excellent book. I cannot recommend it more. If you're new to investing, please read this book. It will help you, and good luck. So again, the book is The Intelligent Investor, and it's written by Benjamin Graham. And if you do get this book, please make sure you get the updated one with the new commentary by Jason Zweig. This is an excellent book. I cannot recommend it more. If you're new to investing, please read this book. It will help you, and good luck.